Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 224 of our Be a Better You annual challenge. Today we're talking about the EGS, which stands for Emotional Guidance System, and our emotional health and well-being. Well, what the heck is the EGS? EGS, I learned at least the first time I remember actually learning it as a thing. It's a tool that we use to identify what emotions we're feeling and see if we're in alignment or in misalignment with what it is that we want to create in our life. I learned it from Esther and Jerry Hicks. Jerry's passed away now, but that's how long ago I learned the emotional guidance system and the teachings of Abraham, or I can't pronounce it properly. She pronounces it much better than I do, but it's a group of entities that she channels information to from, source or whatever, you want to call it, or from the universe. And they shared this emotional guidance system with her. At least that's my understanding of where it came from. Now, it probably existed before. I don't know. She's the first person, she and Jerry, because she channeled it, is the first person I learned it about the emotional guidance system from. But I'm sure you can find other sources on the internet if you go ahead and look it up. And today, I should have made a poster or something of it, but I think it's important that you go online and you Google emotional guidance system and you get your own list and you print it out and you hang it somewhere where you're going to see it whenever you need to. That's what I usually do. I haven't had it up for a long time. I used to handwrite it because it helped me remember it. But the whole purpose of it is to identify where we are and what we're feeling emotionally and where that is on this scale. There's 12 levels on this one that I printed out today. I think I've seen it with 14. It doesn't matter. Excuse me. Because some of them have a lot of emotions associated with it. So, for example, they're in alignment with the frequency, the energy frequency of that emotion. Everything is energy, right? And that means our emotions and our thoughts and our beliefs and feelings are energy too. And so we want to know, well, we want to be in the higher vibrational positive, in alignment with who we really are, feelings more than the negative, lower frequency vibrations. So, for example, the highest are joy, knowledge, empowerment, freedom, love, and appreciation. I would put gratitude in that as well, because to me, gratitude and appreciation are very synonymous. Second is passion. Third is enthusiasm, eagerness, happiness. Fourth is positive expectation and belief. Fifth is optimism. Sixth is hopefulness. 7 is contentment. And then there's a switch to what I consider the lower frequency feelings. Boredom is 8. Pessimism is 9. Frustration, irritation, and impatience is 10. See why I wanted to work on that one? It's way down at the bottom almost. 11 is overwhelm. And 12 is everything else, like disappointment, doubt, worry, blame, discouragement, anger, revenge, hatred, jealousy, insecurity, fear, guilt, and unworthiness. Those are really the really low frequency ones. And most of those are not in alignment with who we really are. At least not if you're listening to me and you're doing an annual challenge to be a better version of yourself. So today, I just want you to get familiar with this. And tomorrow, we're going to spend the day on how do you use this? How do you incorporate it into your daily life? Because if you understand this, we realize that we don't have to jump from hatred or anger or jealousy all the way up to gratitude and love and appreciation for the situation. But what we can do is we can reach for something that feels slightly less heavy to us. So for me, overwhelm, believe it or not, feels less heavy than doubt, worry, fear, anger, jealousy, hatred, those things. And so if I'm feeling any of those emotions, I know I don't have to jump to the top of the emotional guidance system. I just have to move up the ladder. I like to think of it as a ladder personally. And when I draw it out for myself, I usually do draw it as a ladder because I put big me up there and I put little me down below, the negative emotions, because whenever I'm feeling those low vibrational things, they are as far from who I really am as a human being and I say human being because we are all human beings, that I can possibly imagine. Does it mean I don't ever experience those emotions? Heck no. Sometimes I'm jealous. Sometimes I'm jealous of my sisters. Sometimes I'm jealous of of people's success. And I never stay there long. And I think that's the power of this. And we'll talk about it more tomorrow. We're going to experience the whole plethora and spectrum of emotions because as human beings, we do. We're going to feel them. We're going to experience them. But not only do we get and have the power, personal power to decide what they mean for us. So I can decide what hatred, anger, fear, doubt, worry, discouragement, encouragement, positive expectations, belief. I get to decide what the definition of those are for. And I just did that as part of the SOAP framework for 10 frustration. Why? Because I know I don't want to experience that very much. I don't want to live and spend very much time in frustration. And I realized through some self-awareness exercises as part of the SOAP framework that I was going there because I had let my definition of frustration slip to, if this happens, I'm frustrated. What a silly thing to set up. Hey, if this happens, I get excited about finding a better solution, right? There's so many ways we can turn it around. And we'll talk about that tomorrow. But today, our assignment, our homework, our play work is to just Google or whatever search engine you use, emotional guidance system, and then get a graphic of it that feels right to you, print it out, hang it on your refrigerator, hang it on your office wall, hang it in your bedroom, hang it. I like to keep it by my bed because that's where I do a lot of my reflecting time, first thing in the morning and right before I go to sleep. I like to check in and say, how am I feeling right now as I'm going to bed? If I'm stressed out, if I'm freaked out about something that's going on in my life or a project or a situation, I want to make sure I move up the ladder at least a couple of rungs with my energy before I drift off to sleep. Now I have tools for doing that. I use a meditation app and a hypnosis app. It helps me go to sleep on a positive note every single night. It helps me wake up in a positive way on the higher vibrational frequencies every single day. I highly recommend you find things like that work for you. But today, just get yourself a copy of the emotional guidance system, and we're going to dig into how to use it to become the best possible version of yourself and create the life that you want tomorrow. All right. Any questions? You know what to do. Just hit me up and ask. Otherwise, have an awesome day, and I will, of course, be with you tomorrow.